we're not doing the full Passover Seder right now, but it looks like a Passover Seder dinner. And we have new immigrants here with us. One new immigrant, Moshe, a good friend. How are you doing, Moshe?
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. And you made Aliyah from France, correct? Yeah. Now, there's mysteries that relate to Passover. There's so many cool things that relate to Passover, such as everybody has a Passover plate with 6 elements, like the egg and the bitter herbs and the shank bone of the lamb and so on. Can I just quickly ask you, you made Aliyah from France, right? Were you living in Paris?
I was living in Paris, close to Paris, yes.
And you live in the Galilee now?
I live in the Galilee, I live in Tiberias, the last city where Jewish people was living. It means before leaving the country. And Passover, it's a very good symbol to remember that we leave Egypt, and today we are coming back to Israel.
People are very, they find it fascinating, astounding, phenomenal that the same Moses that brought the children out of Israel, the same Aliyah journey is still happening today. Did you celebrate the Passover in France? And is it different here than there?
The difference is not so big. The Passover of an American, the Passover of the French, the Passover of the Russian people are the same. If you're inside of the Aliyah,
right, the laws of Judaism,
the law of Judaism. But when you start to go from country to country, you have different food, you have different interests.
Yes.
And the most important thing, thank you. Maybe we put things. Maybe we put things on place.
And it even has the name of where the lamb bone goes,
exactly.
Where the egg goes.
In Israel, they make everything easier. In France, for an example, we just have a big plate and organized by yourself. Okay.
There was a comedian, an Italian comedian. He said, "They don't understand the food. The Jewish people, they eating the bitter herbs. They eating crackers. They need to eat better food." So this is not what's looked at as a proper feast. It's all symbolic, right? Symbolizes things. How did the Seder Pesach come to be?
The Seder Pesach come to be, we talk about that in the Bible already. It means in the Bible they explain you that you have to do and remember the way how we go out from Egypt.
Yeah.
But until the second temple.
Yeah. So leaving, you're saying leaving Egypt.
Leaving Egypt. It was a big and important moment for Jewish people, and God tell us you have to remember this important moment. It means you have the opening of the sea, you have giving Torah, you have a lot of things happening, and it's the birth of a Jewish identity. Before that, you have Hebrew identity.
So you're saying when you grew up in France, you had a little book like this?
No, everybody have a little book.
Right.
The little book that we call Haggadah, the Haggadah of Passover, the little book, the principal idea was to make everybody making the same seder, the same organization.
Order,
same order. But remember, until the law say only remember to tell about the going out of Egypt.
Yes.
They never say write a book, put things on the table, do things like that or like that. It developed because we are on the period of the second temple. Before the second temple, people was sitting and counting story.
Second temple of
before the second temple of the Herod temple.
Yes.
During the Herod temple, before this time, everybody was sitting and telling story. Oh, okay, we left Egypt. We opened the sea open. We have what's happened and what didn't happen. The main idea here was to show and to explain to people that they understand after the falling down of the second temple that if Jew people, if you don't give something to Jew people, they will forget, and they will be like Gentile. It means Christianity. It's they have Passover, but it's something else. It's different.
They have the Last Supper, from Passover.
Something exists, but they're not remembering the outgoing of Egypt. It means here the main point of the Jewish people is to remember what happened when we went out. What's happened until the day that we sitting on the table and are Jew. Why we are Jew?
Yeah, you know, when people have a picture in churches of the Last Supper, where there's like they're all sitting on one side, no one thinks this is a commemoration of the greatest Aliyah, a commemoration ceremony of the greatest Aliyah miracles of all time. They just see a bunch of people sitting on one side of the table.
All the people sitting on the table, they're sitting and making Pesach.
Yes,
they're making Passover. They have a plate. They have a matzah that you just showed before. They have wine, and they're making a Jewish Seder.
Yes.
And the complaint of this time, it's people are starting to get more lazy and making less and less and less. You know, we're just talking about the bone.
Lamb.
The lamb. Okay, the lamb. But the idea. It's not to eat lamb. The idea is why you eating lamb. Why you want to people are going so far away to buy something. As when you are in a state, you don't have any. You don't have the possibility to have kosher meat because you're living far away from some place. Okay, people say maybe we put a piece. When you are far away, maybe people understand it's difficult to have kosher food. And because you cannot have kosher food, they say, Rav, can we use chicken? Oh yeah, you can use chicken. And if you don't have chicken, can we use fish? Okay, put fish, no problem over fish.
I know that people forget that the lamb's blood was what was put on the doorpost.
The idea was the lamb blood. Okay, and the lamb blood remember you something that you remember that it's remembering home. It's the mezuzah. The mezuzah. The mezuzah. It's a sign that something happened in the opening of your door. And the people don't make the connection in this way.
Did you say that this book was written originally right here, maybe in the Galilee?
The book was writing in the Galilee and especially in Tiberias because the Sanhedrin
right over there. Wow.
Tiberias was sitting the last Sanhedrin. The last Sanhedrin understands something that in tradition, when you pass something in tradition, slowly getting less and less and less and less, and you don't have any tradition. The last tradition that I remember, I come from a family that my no man was in a family, and they have kiddush, but nobody can make kiddush, and they used to take grapes and put grapes in a glass cup of kiddush and leave it on the table. They put bread and leave it on the table, and whatever it was on the table as a symbol. But for myself, that my mother she's Jew, but my father not. For myself, like a little boy, I was very impressed by the fact that Shabbat was looking different. And for me, Pesach was looking different. Because before Pesach, we have to clean all the house. We have to start to whip the walls, to make new paints.
Sure and you look with a candle to make sure there's no matzah in the house. Bread.
Before that, I remember my sitting on Passover and taking new plates. New plates. Oh wow! Why?
And throw the old ones away?
For a little? No, you don't throw it away. You put it on side.
Okay.
But you want all the dishes that you're going to use are specially for Passover. It means it gives you something renew.
Yes.
And you know, It's like we are in the springtime,
Yes.
and you're going to make a spring meal.
Well, biblically, Nisan Aviv is the new year. Biblically, it says this shall be the new year,
It's
right
the
before
new year
Passover.
of the month.
Yeah,
Of the month.
Yeah,
of the
10
year.
days before Passover, this shall be the beginning of year. But I wanted to ask this to you, is when you're cleaning the house, I know the wealthy Jews, they throw their whole couches away because they don't know if maybe a crumb of leaven went inside the couch and they can't vacuum it.
Okay,
so they
but
throw
you
away,
have to
get a new one.
understand, you're in Israel. In Israel, people are living good, and even if they complain that the life is difficult, they're looking to be better and better and better. Okay. In outside of the country, when I was in France, or when I don't remember my family cleaning the chairs, or you have a proportion. It means when you come to Israel, you want to claim Har Sinai,
The Mount Sinai.
the mountain of Sinai.
Yeah.
But when you're here, you want something better.
Yeah.
If you have a plate for this Passover, next time, what you're going to do better.
Right.
You want the Passover Seder will be the same.
Yes.
I mean, if you can go on a video and see how they make blessings on everything and explaining everything. But the idea here, it's not the blessing. The idea is to say, thanks God. It's like a birthday. It's a birthday of your soul.
Yeah.
You're coming back and you're feeling something new. You're feeling something coming back outside. For when I was living outside of the country, we used to say, next time to Jerusalem.
Yes.
When we read the Haggadah, it's writing next time to Jerusalem. But we're in Israel. Next time to next week to Jerusalem. I have no problem. I take a bus and I will be in Jerusalem. No. The big and important thing about saying next time to Jerusalem is to say next time we will come with Mashiach, with a Messiah to Jerusalem. And it's a big difference with Christian people and with Jewish people.
Yes.
Jewish people waiting and still waiting for the Messiah.
Yes.
The Christian think that is already coming and he will come back. I remember a priest one time come and say, you know the difference between Christian and Muslim and Jew people? It's the understanding if the Messiah was here or not. The answer will be when the Jew Messiah will come, and we will know if he was here before.
You ask, were you here before? Yes, no, and then you'll know who is right.
And it will be only the question, but especially we're doing the same idea. We're going to the same way. We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I know that people, my army friends, my religious friends, many friends in Israel will write special things in it. They won't stick exactly to the Haggadah, but they'll put special jokes, maybe special prayer, try out their Passover jokes.
No, that's to the Haggadah.
Yeah.
The goal of the Haggadah was that every Jew make the same blessing in the same time, one before the other.
Yes.
It's like I explained that when you have a tree inside of a pot, okay, you take a tree that's the Jew people, and you take them outside of Israel, outside of their holy land, and we tell them, please, if you want to survive as a Jew, you have to have some language.
Yes.
The Haggadah is the language.
Yes.
It means you need a minimum. The minimum is what we want you to do. Afterwards, everybody's singing, telling jokes or whatever it is. In the States, maybe it's jokes. In France, it was more the food that you have after. Because what's interesting that we're sitting on a meal. What we're eating, it's a meal. Nobody understands why on the end of Passover Seder, people sit and keep eating something else. Yeah. Bring me the soup, bring me the food, but you're in the meal. When you taste, the taste is not really a taste, it was made to eat. It was made to eat, not to have a small
look at.
a look at. It was when you eat lamb, everybody should have a piece of lamb and eat. When you eat matzah, the idea is to eat together. It's just Seder means organization. Seder, Sidur. Sidur is the book where all the prayers are organized.
Right. Doesn't it say according to the Seder that we should act like we ourselves, instead of just eating the bitter herbs and drinking the salt water, which is very strange, salt water on the table. No one does this in the world. Salt water. It's not good to drink salt water. But you dip bitter herbs, gross, in salt water and eat it. Now we have to feel like we were there, like we went through this.
The idea, listen, when you eat so herbs, okay, in the Haggadah, they explain you why.
Right.
The life was so sour that you have to taste this, but you take a piece of sour herbs in the time of the Haggadah and you put something sweet on it, okay, and you put it in your mouth and you eat.
Yes.
The idea is to show to people that sometimes I explain to people, when you go to the kotel, okay, the holy wall we call it in English?
Yeah, the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall.
Okay, the
kotel.
The kotel, okay? When you go there, you're going to a place that is very important, okay? You're going to pray, but it's not enough. People don't understand that it's not enough. You have to drink something and you have to eat something. It means you have to fill up your soul, but even your body. And when you understand that more in deepest way, you have to understand the soul cannot live without the body, and the body cannot live without the soul. Mm-hmm. The idea of making Seder is to feed the body, but the Seder is here to feed the soul.
Yes, and so I know that there's a saying, you can take the Jew out of Egypt, but you can't always take Egypt out of the Jew. Sometimes we need to still come out in our understanding of, the different gods that were knocked down. Sometimes we can be still held in a form of Egypt inside, and we do the Seder, but we're not getting that the real freedom is not just in our mind, it's in our hearts.
It's not just in your heart, it's in your soul.
Yes,
you have to, it's like for a woman taking a flower.
Yeah.
Everybody look flower, that's flower, in a few days it will die or whatever it is. But the smelling, the smell, in Havdalah for an example, we have smell. Right. Why smell? People will explain, okay, it's for that. But the important thing is you are so deep inside of Shabbat, you have to feel, to fill up your lungs and for the week,
the fragrance.
For the week. And here, the Passover, we have to fill up the freedom, to taste the difficulty of mashing that is very difficult.
Yes.
But the difficulty to eat something that it's not good, whatever it is, it's not the happiest meal that we can have.
Right. But there's happiness
everybody
in it.
have to take something and to taste the taste of Passover.
And when you look at this pierced, broken, nasty, not very delicious bread, to be honest, some people like it. It's kind of like a bread of suffering, right? It's like pain. But then there's also the joy, and it's mandated 4 cups of wine, 4 full cups in the Seder. So it's like pain and joy.
It's the middle. It's the middle of both. Means you have a pain, you have a difficult life, you have all whatever you have.
But 4 cups of wine, that's amazing.
4 cups of wine. I mean, it's difficult to drink 4 cups of wine. But if you don't drink, you don't feel like happy. You don't feel the happiness, the freedom, the freedom. But you have to drink, but not to be drunk.
Now, why you don't drive on, even if it's in the middle of the week that Passover lands according to the moon, because it's not the sun. Most people in the world go according to the Gregorian, which is a Roman Catholic Pope. And so it's the sun cycle that is what they go by. But Hebrews, we go by the moon. And so it can land at different times because the moon is a different cycle. So if it's on Wednesday, the religious don't drive at all, right?
If it's any day of the week, people in Israel, they used to slow down everything. In Tiberias, you will feel it more. It means people are more in houses and go to prayer and whatever it is. In other city, believe me, they eat and they go drive somewhere else. But the idea is to rest. The idea is to rest. But we have to be careful. We have to be careful. In the Bible, Passover is not Shabbat. Passover, it's a rest day.
Right.
It means what's the rules during Passover, if it's during the week and not during a Shabbat, will be different.
Right.
They will be different. It means the rules in Shabbat are very strict.
Right.
In Passover, they're more light. You can take a pot and make it hot on a fire. That's no problem during the Passover.
Right. Fire.
But
no problem.
You cannot do it during Shabbat. It means it's some kind of a difference. But what is interesting, you're talking about the time, okay? One time I will explain you the difference between Jerusalem and Tiberias, because it's very important, because it's the life between men and women. But not today, today. But what's important, okay, that in every festival that you have, the wife have something to do, and the woman and the man have something to do.
A job.
I mean, a job.
Role.
Everybody have his job, and it's important. It's important. It means, herbs and everything look like everything are the same, but the taste afterwards, the food afterwards, it's the woman making the Passover.
Right.
Who remember what you eat here?
Right.
Nobody. They remember the good meal that mother or grandmother prepare. And another question, why in Israel you have just one day and the other countries you make 2 days?
And that's the same with a few different holidays, but why
Only
is
Yom
that?
Kippur. Only Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah we do 2 days.
Right.
In my understanding, people will explain something else. It doesn't matter, okay? Because we are outside of the country, people wasn't sure that you're exactly on the time of Passover. Okay, we declare Passover because we see the moon, the new moon.
Right.
And when you don't see the new moon, to be sure, you have to have 2 people seeing the new moon. But the time are getting, you get evolution. And now we have a calendar that says us exactly when is the new moon. And you don't need exactly all these things. But out of this, I remember just something from Shabbat. Somebody called me and have a problem with electricity.
On Shabbat?
No, before Shabbat. Before Shabbat. And the guy come to repair home to a new immigrant. And he was on the limit border of Shabbat for us. He did the work, he finished the work. And the landlord is in the States. And he sent me a message in WhatsApp and told me, maybe in Israel is already Shabbat, but for us not. Okay? The idea of making 2 days is to remember to people that you don't have only to say maybe. You have to understand, now you have 1 day and tomorrow the maybe you make another day. Make it harder somewhere. But it's the way where things are going.
This is historic, but it's not just historic. It's happening now. As you know, you made Aliyah. Many others from France, many others from America, many others from all over the world are coming home to the Promised Land and making Aliyah. They need their Moseses. They need their Jethros to help bring them to the Promised Land. Jeremiah chapter 16, Yirmiyahu, 16 verse 14 says, in fact, I'll just read it. Therefore, behold, the days come, says God, that it will no more be says, the Lord lives that brought them out of Egypt, verse 15, but the Lord lives that brought the children of Israel from the land of the north, Ukraine, and all the lands where they were driven them. I will bring them again into the land that I gave unto their forefathers. So do you think that anti-Semitism, I know that 2.2 billion people, half of all the adults in the world, believe anti-Semitic lies. So do you think that there's coming a great Passover that is bigger than any Passover that we've ever had?
It's coming, but you have to understand, when Ezra and Nehemiah are writing the prophecies, we didn't have Jew people, we have Hebrew people.
Right.
Okay, we have 12 tribes.
Yeah.
And today, when we talk about Jew people, we're talking about the tribe of Judah.
Yeah.
2.5 tribes. But we're talking about the Judaism. German used to call us Juden. It means all what we're doing are Judah rules. Okay? But what do you think about the other tribes? They should come and they have no idea about what is Passover. They never have a book. They're still working with old tradition, with old things. It means something will happen. You're talking about anti-Semitism. For somebody, it's anti-Semitism bringing them here home. For somebody else, it will be the fiscal problem. For
financial issues.
Financial issue. And for another problem, it will be a family problem, difficulty with a father and mother, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the fact of Passover is to tell you that if you want to believe of the freedom, you have to pass something difficult.
You know, Hebrew means Ivri, means they crossed the Jordan.
Nachon.
Ivri, Avar, they crossed through the Jordan River and the Red Sea, Reed Sea as well, I guess. And so that is what made us all through the waters of trial into our destiny in the promised land.
Ivrim, you don't have that.
Hebrew.
So Hebrew.
Yeah.
It means, remember that the only people that you know today is Bnei Menashe.
Right.
Coming from India.
And Ethiopians, maybe.
Ethiopian, it's kind of different. Sometimes some people say that it can be from the time of Solomon, and they get Hebrew, and this time during marriage with a princess of Saba. No, other people will tell you maybe they are Jew, they left
from tribe of Dan, maybe
to make business or whatever it is. It's not important. It's not important. The important thing is people are getting attached to the Jewish tradition. Remember that it's special for Pesach, but the Haggadah, and I told you, it came later. And when you say that people are writing, and the idea of Passover is to tell your own story during the meal, and to count your own story to your children, because your children know Israeli stories. They don't know what you pass through. They don't know what you pass through. They don't know what your grandparents pass through. Maybe you come from Europe, from Holocaust or whatever it is, the family. And maybe other come from Africa, South Africa, or North Africa, and other come from have a story from Spain. Maran story, and another one will have a story about Japan and China. All have a connection, all have the same story to count, but in a different way. And the idea of eating is to bring these stories out. It's not to eat. The game is not here to eat. The game is not, like I say, the game is not to come and read the Haggadah, because we can find it everywhere, every place else. The game here is to put out your soul and count your story, your real story.
So I have a hard question for you. You might not know the answer. Do Sephardi and Ashkenazi Jews have this Greek word, Afikoman, this one middle matzah that's hidden between the other matzah that's broken? Tradition, you break the middle one. Why is this done? And is this for all Jews? Or you said maybe lost tribes don't have this? Is this something just for Ashkenazis?
Lost tribe doesn't have it, because it came later. They have to learn how to do it. The Ethiopian, the Bnei Menashe, learning how to do it because they don't have it. Afikoman,
the middle matzah,
the little matzah have two goals. One is that we have to break down with the chains of a life. of a life.
Okay.
We have to break down. You know, when you're a new immigrant, the first thing that you say is, "Oh, in France it wasn't like this. Oh, in the States it was different. The life, the bank, everything look like difficult." Okay, to break this, it's so simple to break a matzah and get delivered. Okay? The second thing, it's inside of this little game that everybody have it. It's to take half of a matzah and to how you call that?
Hide it.
To hide it for children.
For the children, and
for
you get prize.
And to get prize or not prize. And I remember the grandfather of my wife. They used to find the Afikoman and ask for the price, and he was looking like that, very seriously, and say, "Oh, how did you find this? You steal it. You didn't find it. You steal it from me."
Oh.
Okay, I'd hide it. And the children is here, very serious. I steal, and the idea is to show that it's not. First of all, the Afikoman, the idea is to keep the children until the end of the meal, because they want to leave the table. And you have a present and you have something. But the idea of the Afikoman and the hiding of the Afikoman is to not to believe that everything comes very easy.
Yeah.
It means even if you break your chain, even if you have a count about new life and now the life will be wonderful. No. You have something that is being hidden, and you have to find it. And the hidden things will make your year better. It will improve you somewhere.
Yeah, not to get offensive in any way, but I heard the oldest account, maybe I'm wrong, the oldest account of keeping the Passover with these traditions, the oldest account is in the New Testament. That's the oldest depiction of how they're doing the dipping in the bowl. And
listen, I can tell one thing. I don't read New Testament.
Okay.
I cannot tell you.
Is there another older account? Maybe? Is there another older account maybe that we know of, like not New Testament, something Aleppo Codex or something of people doing these traditions?
You have it. The tradition you have it because we're talking about Rabbi Akiva.
Okay.
Rabbi Akiva.
Right.
New Testament can come a little bit later than this.
Right.
We're talking about the period of Roman time where people are sitting here.
Okay.
Remember, sometimes I explain to people the big difference between, from my understanding, you have Jew people, they're making what they're making, they have their way to understand, but they believe in one God. And at this time, everybody was believing about a mount of gods. For a Jew to be Jew, you have just to get born from a mother Jew, a Jew mother. But for a Gentile to be Jew, it's very difficult. It means you have to accept a lot of difficulty and pass a lot of difficulty. And the idea was during the Passover, during the 10 plagues. The idea was here to say, okay, you look, you have a possibility and you have gods for everything. But see, I can do anything. And what's interesting in the story that everything happened, but not to the Jew camp. The Jew didn't suffer anything.
In Goshen,
It means it's very important to understand that I think it's not the question of what's happened to this or what didn't happen to this. The question is how do you look the coin? Which side you're looking the coin? It means if you look this side, the other sides look dark, but the reality, if you turn the other side looks light. We have to change. We have to change very deeply to understand that everything is like a wave.
Yes.
It means even if you are in big difficulty today, now we pass over and everything is passing over. It means start new life, start to look things in another way. And if you think that your problem was difficult, believe me, you have people with more problems, more difficult. And if you can help somebody with something small that you have, that you see that it's something good, help him. Help him, because this small thing that you give it to him will make it better. And you just have to look the way, this way. It's the life. Because the Jew was under pressure.
Yeah.
He have to come and to build bricks for building the Egypt. Okay? And people didn't think about, we're going to make war or whatever. They was thinking, I'm going to have a harder day tomorrow because of Moshe. The complaint. Jew people like to complain. We are a complaining Jew people. We like to complain. And what's making us stronger, it's not the fight. It's not the things. It's the hardness of the life. We understand that if we want to success, we have to pass hard time, another level, and every level are different. You come from Gaza, and you know that the things are very, very complicated there. And even if it's difficult, we're making Passover, and we are here, and you can do what you want. You will never destroy us. And in the army in Gaza, people will sit with terrorists around, and they will eat, and they will make Passover.
It's one of my favorite things about the army, and Gaza is like my second home now, because 535 days, being deployed, and but always when there's a holiday, even if you're on a work site or you're building before the army, or if you're in the army, you get on the tank, someone will say, okay, I have a little piece of matzah in my pocket, little crumb or something, we're going to do it. Yeah, you're right. You'll always find a way in an abandoned building with bombs falling to do it.
You ask about salt and water, okay?
Yeah.
Things interesting about salt and water that come from my family, okay? We used to take salt, big piece of salt, and we used to break it before Passover, okay, to have this small bowl to put some salt and water. Why salt and water? You know how you call, what is the best bread when you go to
Shabbat?
During the week, bread with mahmetzet. Bread, they have special, how you call that?
Yeah, yeast.
Yeast, but
yeast
natural
that rises.
yeast.
Yeah, natural yeast. Yeah.
Natural yeast. And you understand when you're making a pita, okay, that it takes time to the bread and people, instead of to bring us pitot, okay, it was more natural to bring us pitot. They bring it this kind of how you call that when you build a
hammer.
No, this.
Oh, a piece of plywood, a piece of wood.
You have an impression that you're eating a wood. Okay. But I remember I was a little child. I used to go to school during Passover because we're not in Israel, and I go to school and I have my matzah with my charoset, okay, and I eat that. All the children around me, what are you eating? Oh, I'm eating bread of Passover. Oh, I want a piece. Oh, I want a piece. And what you're saying that is not so tasty, everybody was saying, oh, what good taste of this thing. And today I was a child and I say, maybe they should put that in a small package and sell it during the year. And it's what you say in Passover. You say that you can eat this and you can eat regular bread. It means maybe here we have, how you call that?
Unleavened bread.
No, we have a startup. We have a startup of 3,000 years. Just sit and eat, startup. Why Jews are startup nation? Because by the difficulty they understand how to make the things. I will just tell you a last story, a small story. It's about when I was learning electronic. I was learning electronic and I have friends close to me coming and telling me, I tell them, but why are we learning all these difficult things and whatever it is, how to do? You know, today you put inside of a program and you have a solution. Why learning the difficult way of a did that? Who cares? Who cares really? When you go to work, who cares? Okay? The idea, and I answer, you know, the idea is not to learn, and
To go the easy way.
to go to the, no, the idea is not to go to the easier. The idea is to find the way that you can make it more simple and more easy. Passover is bringing you to the difficult way and show you that, listen, the how you call that, the new year, it's a new year. The nature has understand that it's a new year. The flowers are going out and whatever it is. And everything look easy, but it's not so easy. It means when you come from country, even in the States or in Germany, people that pass Holocaust or people pass anti-Semitism or people pass anything. When you come and Passover in Tiberias or in Israel, okay, when you come and eat your Passover, you understand that things are not so complicated. Things are so easy. Just you have to make it complicated to find the bones and to find the eggs and to find the things, but everything is easy.
Yeah, you know, I think a summary of it all is it's about the mother and the father, each doing their roles, teaching the children. In the Bible it says, Shinantum lebenechem, you will train your children. And once a year, of course, we should always live a life of crossing out from Egypt, leaving the Egypt behind, going through the hardships. Every day we should do this. But once a year, like God mandated, is really good to train and raise good Jewish children who follow the Bible, and that is what it's all about. And the mother, I feel even women are under attack in this world. This nation building role, this nurturing of the children role, it's under attack. No, you should be a CEO only. No, you should never get married. No, you should, a man is a woman, you know, these kind of things. Her role is so important to make this Passover and teach the raise a nation, nurture a nation.
You know you're a Jew. How do we know that somebody is Jew? By his mother.
Right.
Okay, the mother carry the Judaism. But the father teach at school and whatever it is. The interesting thing is that we are the only people in the world that the woman carry the religion, carry the identity.
Very smart.
And this smartest point came again in Tiberias during the Second Temple. They understand that Jew people will go all around the world, will be dispersed all around the world, and what will happen to men? They will get to slavery again. They will certainly die. What will happen to women? They will get to slavery, but in housekeeping. Maybe they will be raped, like we see not far away. But even if a woman is raped, the children will be Jew, because the woman carry, the woman explain, the woman keep everything. It means, I told you about the story of my grand aunts and whatever it is, about the kiddush and the wine and the bread. And I feel it more with the time, because the children are looking every time what's mother doing. And when we're talking about Christianity, I say, I don't know, maybe I mistake and it's not writing in any place, okay? But take a Jew woman in a Roman house, okay? The men are busy with business and whatever it is, and one is cleaning and the other one is get served. And the Jew woman on Shabbat will light candles. The Jew woman on Pesach will not eat bread. And the Roman woman will look at her and will say, why are you doing all these things? The life is so difficult for you, you keep doing things like that. And she will say, listen, if my life is difficult, it's because God wanted it to be difficult. But I believe in it. And the discussion between two women is more stronger than the discussion between two men.
Interesting.
Because two men are coming and fighting. Two women are stopping and thinking. And maybe the Christianity in a Roman world come out from this, from a Jewish understanding of suffering and having things like that. It means, you believing in one God. You have all the difficulty in the world. Your life is catastrophic, okay? And you keep saying I'm Jew.
Yeah.
You mean anybody can kill you. It's the strong thing. It's what is doing us strong, nothing else. And who are the strongest in the family? The woman. You want it or you don't want it. And I say one time, if you have time, I will explain you the difference between Jerusalem, that's the idea it's the men, and Tiberias, that's the idea it's woman.
Right, and maybe just quickly say that there is 4 holy cities of Judaism, that you're a religious man, and so Hebron is earth, where the patriarchs are buried, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rachel, and maybe Adam and Eve as well, right, in the tomb of the patriarchs. I don't know if you've been there recently. It's kind of scary to go there now. So that's earth. Then you have wind, and that is Tzfat, the city on a hill, right here up in the mountains. That is like wind. Each is an element, earth, wind, and then fire, of course, Jerusalem. And that's symbolized with the fire of God and all that. And then, of course, water, Tiberias.
But,
4 holy cities. But you're saying an even deeper...
when you're looking deeper, you will see that it's deeper than that. It's very deeper than that. It's a question about day and night, men and women. And everything is around this table. It means men are sitting with women and whatever. Making a Passover just with men, have nothing.
You know, in England, they have man, woman, man, woman, man, woman. If you don't sit man, woman, in England, I didn't know this. I went to London, and they had a dinner, and they said, sir, what are you doing? They said, you must sit man, woman, man, woman. I didn't know.
The separation between men and women in Israel, okay, are stronger here. But it's looking like a kind of rude, because we didn't have this habit. But in another way, listen, when you sit on the table, okay, everybody eat, but on the end of the meal, what's happening? The men are sitting on the table and the women are in the kitchen, cleaning or whatever they do, okay, and they're talking. It means the discussion of a woman and the discussion of a man are different. We are different, and the idea, the modern idea to think that the woman is the equal of a man, or a man is equal of a woman, have nothing to in a Judaism. Have no place. We are different. We are equal about the life, but we are different, and we have to be different, because if you have a man with a man, you will never have children.
Right.
And we think differently, we understand differently, and it's the subject, the next subject.
Yeah. My last question for you, as I pour some wine and do a l'chaim, is: do you do your Passover in French, and how do you say next year in Jerusalem in French? Or do you do it in Hebrew now?
No, we do it in Hebrew. I did it all my life in Hebrew. You have to understand that.
Not just for the scene.
Hebrew people, Jew people, the important thing, it's we keep Hebrew like a part of us, and we learn Hebrew, we talk Hebrew, and coming in Israel is to learn Hebrew.
You could have Russians and Ukrainians, they fight. You could have Ethiopians and Ethiopians and Eritreans, they fight. But here, no. Here we have new language, new way. How do you say next year in Jerusalem in French?
L'année prochaine à Jérusalem.
But now, Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim. Well, l'chaim. You want to do a blessing for us real quick? A blessing?
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagefen.
Amen.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Yeah.
And next year to
Passover.
Jerusalem.
Renewal. New life. Thank you for taking this time with us. This was very wonderful.
You're welcome.
You're doing a great job with the new immigrants. It's an honor to work with you.
Thanks.